Okay, now let's go back and look at what it actually looks like. Okay, so it's following along the same type of principles as we've got here, right? Where it's only one edge, and so it tries to smooth it out as much as possible. So we look at that again, and that's exactly what's happening. We only have one edge, one edge, one edge. Right, so how do we get that to be a tighter edge at the bottom? Well, we add geometry. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's go in there and grab some edges. Right, so we can select one and then ring it. And I'm just going to put that back on smooth so we can see what it actually is doing. So with those selected, I'm going to right click, connect. Okay, so it's added one right in the middle like it normally does when you have it on the default settings. So we can slide this up and down. And you can see how that edge density, when we bring this edge closer to this one, so we're getting a denser edge, or a denser mesh area, it starts pulling in the smooth mesh to try and more closely resemble that. Right, if I pull it away, it rounds out again. If I pull it down, it tries to make more of a barrel shape at the bottom. Okay, so actually I want to put two segments in. And I want to push that out. So it's basically doing the same thing as doing one, but it's just twice as fast here. Okay, hit OK. And let's do the same for the top. And right click, connect. Now it's going to keep the same settings I just had since we're on the same object. So well, that's fine, we'll just leave them as it is. So it's coming along. I mean, we're already seeing a little closer shape to maybe some type of nail polish bottle. But we still got some kind of wishy-washy corners. They're not quite as rounded or as tight as we might like them. You know, this really doesn't look like a lid. It looks like it's still just a curved area. So let's tighten that up a little bit. Okay, if we look back in at just the low poly itself, we can see that we've got this crease edge and this supporting edge on top. We have no supporting edge going along the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to select this, ring it, so it's selected all the other parallel edges, and I'm going to connect. Okay, and since I also want a supporting edge on the top here, I'm just going to run two segments, so that takes care of this edge and this edge at the same time. So how about I undo that just so we can see what's going on. So we can see how rounded out this area is, and this. So if I right click, connect, right, so you can see how that slides in there quite nicely. And we might want to bring this one down a little bit too, so I'm just going to move that by hand. Same as this. Just move it up a little bit more. There we go. So much better. It's a much cleaner line. That would render out nicely. Let's do the same for the top. Okay, so the top's a little bit different. It's going to be a little harder to grab edges. I mean, I could select the top one at a time here, single, and then do a chamfer on that. But you can see how things start rounding out, and I don't quite want that. So the easiest way is to grab the face and do an inset. Right, and there we go. And this, maybe we'll bring this up also a little bit. It's a little too far away from that edge. What you ideally want to do is try and make it so that you got roughly the same amount or the same distance from the supporting edges to the middle edge, that crease edge. Okay, now the bottom one, maybe we could leave it kind of rounded like that. That's fine. Alright, so I mean, there's our bottle. We can take this and again, since it is just a low poly mesh, we can go in and we can, you know, scale it up, scale it down, move it all around, right, with all this kind of stuff. I'm going to scale that out. Right, so you can select this one here, maybe make a copy of it, and then, you know, do a couple different variations of it. So quickly you could have a whole bunch of different bottles based off of the same mesh, and it's so easy to adjust. Right, and so there we go. So that's a little bit of subdivision modeling. Hope you've learned something. Stay tuned for the next one.